The Modern Game Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 18. Episode 18 of the Modern Game Podcast. It's a bit of a mid-season special. We're going to do our mid-season predictions and talk about the predictions we made at the start of the season. But we're going to start off with the personal review. So I feel like Jamie should take it away because he's fist pump in the air.
Oh my god. I'm still like, I don't know, delirious about it. I can't believe it. I really can't.
This guy's in a state.
It's like Christmas came late, but like not full Christmas.
You look like you've been high ever since you won.
I probably have. I feel like just life. No, but seriously, oh mate. Imagine waiting 9 years to play your local rivals again with your richest ever team, your most successful ever manager, and then losing to what is our worst Premier League team ever. Imagine that.
So
Just
massive
imagine
derby,
it.
that one, isn't it?
Massive derby.
Yeah.
Probably
It is
probably
derby.
like 16th in.
You're correct, Gabs. You are correct. It is a massive derby.
Yeah, massive.
I mean, if-
massive
One of
If the
England's
English
oldest
football-
derbies.
If the English football pyramid had a Premier League and Championship for derbies, I don't think Wolves West Brom would be anywhere near the Prem.
Good joke, Charlie. Telling them.
It was. It's shit. It's
Where
shit
we-
regardless.
Where's Cov Leicester?
I'm not bigging that one up then.
Yeah, no, good point. That'd be the only time we were top of the Prem.
What a performance. What a performance.
Yeah, you were good, to be fair, from what I watched.
Outplayed her. Completely outplayed her. We deserved it. We deserved those 3 points. Completely.
The personal review sounds a bit like less entertaining when there's no counselling session because, I mean,
Yeah,
there is no counselling session this
it
week.
sounds
Leeds
like
has not
Jamie
been
doesn't
40
know.
minutes though.
I don't know
No,
what
it
to
sounds like
say.
Jamie doesn't know what to say because he.
So I'm.
He's never
It's
felt
like
like
I've never
I was gonna
experienced a Premier League win. Well,
I feel exactly the
obviously I have,
same. I feel the
but I haven't
same.
experienced a Premier League win in how many weeks?
He's like a starved of success.
/months /months.
I wanna see Who won last out of the two of us? You won on the
Maybe neither
28th of
of us.
November.
Is it possible for us
won.
to both not win?
Oh, we
It
won
is.
on the 9th of December, but near enough the same amount of time.
Yeah. But obviously, you've been playing against like Rotherham and Wickham.
Yeah, I know. It's probably easier for you lot to play against less difficult teams.
Yeah, true. Yeah. What? Did you watch the game, Dan?
I had it on my laptop, so I tried to as much as I could.
Did either of you two? I don't think.
Nah, I
Can't
didn't
say I did, bro.
Who was your
Did you
standout
decide?
performer, Dan?
I mean, Pereira's the obvious
There's a
one.
couple for us. There's a couple that we had that I think stood out.
I thought there was a few decent ones. I thought your midfield dominated the game for pretty much the majority. I don't know whether that's because they played a weird formation, but I thought Pereira got in the gaps too easy. I thought Snodgrass did all right. At least he battles.
Snodgrass
He
is
looks
class.
like he actually wants to win. He's the first
Yeah.
player that's come in and looked like he wants to play.
So like I was saying, it looks like if you wouldn't have known that Sawyers was the West Brom, like born and bred, playing for his boyhood club, and if you didn't know that, and then you looked at Snodgrass, you'd think it was Snodgrass that was playing for his boyhood club, and
Yeah.
Sawyers was the one that was just been bought in.
I thought that was a very championship signing, but he actually looks like one of your better players. And
I think he's exactly what we needed. As much as I didn't think he was, I think he probably is.
the two centre backs I thought were quality for especially second half
Yeah.
when you were trying to hold
Bartley
on
was
to the game.
class. Bartley was absolutely class. And I don't ever say that about Cole Bartley because he's very average.
I've watched enough of Carl Bartley to know he's not Premier League level, but Saturday was quality.
He was quality. He pretty much won us the game towards the end, putting his body on the line for blocks. And there was a situation. I think I've crashed.
No, you're all
Hello.
right. No, you're alive.
Yeah, there was a situation when towards the end, I think it was in the 85th minute or so, and the ball dropped to the edge of their box, and I can't remember who it was that hit it on the edge of the box and it looked like it was flying in. And Bartley just came out of nowhere.
Was he Dendoncker?
Body on the line, blocked it, and then absolutely bollocked Sawyers.
I feel like it was Dendoncker.
Mm.
Yeah, but good win.
But yeah,
It keeps you.
I win.
It keeps you in the fight, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get carried away and say, oh, yeah, we're definitely going to stay up and Allardyce is a great manager and all this. That's not true. If it was against any other team, I would have just been like, okay, yeah, fair enough, good win. Obviously, the fact that it was against Wolves and they've waited so long to play us again to beat us, and then we beat them, it's just hilarious.
I mean, speaking of getting carried
looks
away.
like he's auditioning for Creed 3.
Speaking of getting carried away, I think we've got a playoff contender in the mix.
Cov didn't play this weekend, Dan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm talking about Birmingham.
With a game in hand.
Talking about Birmingham. Who is your game in hand against? Just out of interest.
Wickham. Is it Wickham? No, Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday.
So if you lose that game, 3-0, which you definitely will.
It's not going to happen.
We're going above you.
No, it's all right to be optimistic, Dan.
All it's told me is this weekend, because a lot of Blues fans came out and said, reactionary fans are like, we should be mid-table, we should be whatever. All it's told me is we probably shouldn't go down because we've got enough quality in the team where we're playing a team that are worse in the playoffs when we played them, and they've now dropped down to 7th, and we look the better team. Even Warnock came out and said we were the better team. And
that's true, but at the same time, Fulham were the better team against Spurs, but you wouldn't say that they definitely have enough to stay up because you had a really shit run just like they did.
Yeah, but we haven't been in the bottom 3 all season.
Yeah, but also you got to look at who's below you.
True, yeah. But I'm just saying, on paper, if you put our team on paper, like me and my dad before the game looked at our team on paper, looked at Middlesbrough's team on paper, and you go through each player, and even so, I'm obviously going to be slightly biased, but if I gave the team sheets to any of you, you'd say our team was better on paper, which to me, and then you put it against QPR, Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, Derby, Wickham, Forest. Forest have got a decent team, even like Millwall,
I do agree, but think of when Stoke came down and it was us, Stoke, and can't remember who the first team was that came down with us. Nah. Might have been
Huddersfield?
Yeah, it was Huddersfield. You looked at Stoke's team when they came down the first season, and their team was definitely a top.
I thought they were going to storm
3 championship team, and they ended up finishing like 20th or something. They finished very, very low down.
If we finish 20th at this point, I'll take it. To be fair,
but yeah, the thing is, you've got to look at who's below you, and at the minute, you've got Derby, Sheffield Wednesday. Who else you got below you?
Forest,
QPR, Forest, Rotherham, Wickham.
See, the only 2 teams below you at the minute that I think are deservedly so are Rotherham and Wickham. Other than that, you look at Wednesday, Forest, Derby. I think those 3 teams are going to start picking up points. I know it's easy to say that. I think they are, but they're the type of teams that they've been down there before, so they know how to get back
so
up.
have we, though. We've stayed up literally every season for the last 6.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got enough. There's a mentality there that every time we concede a goal, everyone's heads go. But for some reason, in the last 3 games of the season, we turn into fucking prime Brazil.
Thing is, though, you've done it in prior seasons, but prior seasons you've had worse teams below you.
Yeah.
But this season you've got, like I said, teams like Sheffield Wednesday and Forest who shouldn't be down there, and I think are going to start rising up the table. I don't know about QPR. QPR aren't great.
It depends.
With Charlie Austin, though, it depends.
Yeah, they've got to get him scoring if they're going to stay up, because they're in trouble. I think in terms of a squad, they've got a 35-year-old Jeff Cameron playing centre midfield. They're in some serious bother. And Asai Samuel's leaving apparently for 750k. So
Austin did score though in his debut, didn't he?
He did, but if he's not, if Asai Samuel leaves,
Austin's hit and miss. If they can get him firing, then fair enough. But I don't know.
The big thing for us is, because I've seen us get wins back to back, 3 times this season. I saw us beat Reading and Bristol City back to back. So even if we won tomorrow night against Preston, I'm still not going to be convinced until we can get a run of 5 or 6 games unbeaten. I don't think we'll be out of it at all. It's just it's the same with every
it's the
championship. Getting a run going.
Literally anything can happen. It's like when Villa went up that season. They were
15th.
What were they, like 12th? Yeah, 15th. 10 games they won in a row, and they went up. It's as simple as just either getting a lucky streak or picking up a bit of form, and then you.
That's the only thing that would worry me as a Blues fan, though, is the fact that you've got teams like Forest and Wednesday below you.
Yeah, I think that they're.
But the thing is, we can't.
So that would be the only thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think would worry me the most.
The thing 100%. Is, though, as much as we can worry about other teams, we've got too many good players for me to think that we should worry about other teams. Because even you look at Wednesday's team, they haven't got a Sanchez. They haven't got. I mean, San Jose played at the back, played in the centre back with Dean, and he was the best player on the pitch by a mile. And I don't know why.
You had been saying for the past 4 games that he's been
dire, but I don't know why we hadn't tried him at centre back again. When we beat Preston 2-1 away in like October, he played centre back, got man of the match, and he just drops him. And he tried to bring him back in midfield, but it just doesn't work.
Did you not say it was him that didn't make a tackle in 6 games or something?
No, that's Sunjic you're on about.
Was it San Jose? Oh,
Sunjic. But to be fair to Sunjic, he had a decent game Saturday, but it actually continued to, I think it went to 7.5 games he went without winning a tackle, which is what he played every
awful.
So 675 minutes of football, and he's a ball-winning midfielder.
That's actually got to be the worst stat I've ever heard about.
For me, when you pay... The issue is when you pay $6.5 million for a ball-winning midfielder and he doesn't win a tackle in 7 games. That's the sort of issue we've got.
That is awful.
That is the sort of issue we've got at the moment. And it's like Kieftenbeld. As much as every fan licks Kieftenbeld's arse like you wouldn't believe, he's never going to be good enough for us to push for the playoffs. So it's
with a manager like
mediocrity.
With a manager like Karanka, you've now got a structure that he clearly wants to implement, and he's already shown he does. That hopefully he gets 2-3 seasons to try and do that rather than.
Oh yeah, he has to. Yes.
How many seasons do you think it could take you to get to the playoffs?
Oh mate, could be
realistically
easily if he gets backed in the summer. If we solidified and got mid-table next season, which I thought was going to happen this season, but clearly that's not the case. It's going to take us another 2 years at least, I think. But
you look at the
if I get a team that I enjoy watching, I couldn't care less because I haven't had a team that I enjoy for the last
playoff final. How many years ago was it? Reading Huddersfield. How many people have predicted those 2 teams to make it to the playoffs and even make it to the final?
Exactly. It only takes a flick of a switch or one top.
Yeah, it's not this season as well. Aren't Reading near the top 6?
Yeah, they're back in the top 6.
Yeah, I had them as one of the teams that could potentially go down.
Yeah, so did I. They were awful last season.
Same with Swansea. Swansea have just since obviously last season when
they're sitting second now.
Like they hired Steve Cooper, they just shot up the table. Same with Wolves.
Yeah, Swansea were decent last season though. Swansea were decent.
They were decent.
I'm talking the fact that you can be near the bottom one season and then you can spring up to playoffs the next season.
I mean, he did the exact same with Borough. They finished 15th and then got the playoffs.
Look at Barnsley.
Well, yeah, Barnsley. Like I just think there's like players, the big players that we're signing, like Sanchez, San Jose, etc. We just need more players like that. Like Halilovic has come in and looks like a player. We just need more of that quality. Obviously, I mean, I'll say it for the
Does he get regular minutes?
Who, Halilovic? He's injured at the moment, but he was starting before he got injured. I think he'll start tomorrow, probably. He's quality. Like you can just tell where he's played compared to like Kieftenbeld, who's played at Groningen and then just played in the Championship. And then you watch him flick the ball through someone's legs and hit an 80-yard pass. It's just ridiculous. That's what I mean by a team I enjoy. He's a player that I enjoy watching. Yeah, 18th week in a row, we need a striker. I know Hogan scored, but he was absolutely woeful other than that. His first touch, like the good thing about San Jose playing centre-back is he switches the play so quickly. Like he'll make an interception, he'll hit a 30-yard pass straight to Hogan's feet and we're up the other end of the pitch straight away. We haven't got a player that can do that. When the ball's coming to Hogan, he's letting the ball go under his foot and straight through to the keeper. As a professional footballer, it's just pathetic.
we're crying out for a striker as well.
Yeah. Callum,
really
as
are.
much as I like Callum Robinson, he looks unnatural on his own up front, I think.
I think he did play really well on Saturday.
He did play well, but I think he's a winger, to be honest, or a striker in a two.
See, the thing is, for me personally, when Grant's back, I'd try Grant on the left and Robinson through the middle, because Grant scored 19 goals last season for Huddersfield, a struggling Huddersfield side, from the left wing. So if he can do that for Huddersfield, what's to say that he can't? Obviously, he's not going to do that for us in the Prem, but even if he does start looking more dangerous from the wing, that's just a positive in itself.
Yeah.
So at the minute, when he was playing, he just doesn't look a threat at all.
The thing that you've got going for you at the minute is you've got so many players that could potentially chip in with goals that your striker doesn't necessarily have to.
Yeah,
it's not the onus isn't on them to get all the goals. So you've got Pereira,
that's what it was like for us last season.
Robinson, Grant, Diangana if he decides to pick up form, etc., etc. Snodgrass will chip in with a few too.
That's what it was like for us last season. We didn't have an out and out goal scorer like we had the season before in Dwight Gale. So the onus did fall onto the whole team, and I think there was a stat last season that every player that we had in our regular starting 11 scored. So like every single player, the outfield players scored, and then I think it was even stretched to like the 18-man squad.
I think we've got every outfield player scored. They've all just scored one or two. The whole, so not the entire. Now Hogan's top scorer now with 3.
That's appalling.
Right, Cavs.
You ready to move on to Spurs? Am I right in saying that we've not recorded since the Fulham game?
We haven't recorded since the Fulham game.
Yeah.
No. See, I forgot about that for a second. I was going to get straight into Sheffield, but Fulham. I think we all watched the game, didn't we? Was very disappointing. But from when we went 1-0 up, it was a type of game where, considering previous results and the way we was playing, you saw Fulham's equaliser coming. I think Fulham were arguably the better side that game as well. And like the story of our season, second half we just took our foot off the gas, and it was disappointing to concede because like them type of games, Fulham, Palace, was it West Ham, Wolves, they're not type of games where, considering the way we were playing in the first half or having gone up at the start of the game, you don't want to drop points and get draws in them games. So I know people are saying that we've only lost like 2 of our last 20, 25 games or whatever it is, but
the stats,
all of them draws that we've had recently,
I think we've won like 119, drew 8 or something, but those 8 draws are killing us.
Yeah, something like that's what I'm saying. All of them draws, like I don't even smoke anymore. What am I going to do with them draws? So
exactly.
For me, it's just they're almost as good as a loss. But it's interesting to me though, because there's obviously been a big debate. Is it really asking the players to sit back? Because everyone knows that his style of play is obviously defensive. Or is it the players that are dropping off and wanting to hold on to the lead? I think Sissoko came out after the Fulham game and said, after half-time we was told to just come out and defend the lead. But then after the Sheffield game, Kane's come out and said, it's never been the manager telling us to do that. We just, as a team, we just tend to drop off and want to hold on to the lead. But obviously, Kane's not really going to come out and throw Mourinho under the bus. So there's still a bit of confusion as to whether it's the players' weak mentality on the pitch, whether it's Mourinho trying to
could be a bit of a combination.
But then again, when you start Sissoko, it's probably a combination of both, to be fair. But when you start Sissoko right wing at home to Fulham and play a midfield of Højbjerg and Harry Winks, you're not setting yourself up to score a bag of goals and play free-flowing attacking football, really.
The thing is,
I don't really want to talk about the Fulham game too much. You man know how disappointed I was.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, it's happened so many times this season. We've put in a performance like Fulham, and then we've gone and put in a performance like the weekend against Sheffield United. And Spurs fans on Twitter will go, "Oh, we're back." But in 2 or 3 weeks, the Fulham game will repeat itself just against a different opponent, and you can see it happening.
Yeah,
it's not just going to stop because we have one good performance against a team that's, what are they on? 4 points this season so far?
Bottom of the league on like
8, weren't they?
No, Sheffield United is on
4 points.
4 points.
Speaking of the Sheffield United game,
something like that. Isn't it?
5, I think it is actually.
Speaking of the Sheffield United game, certain voice note came out of our group chat after Tanguy's goal. I mean, I'll play it here on the Spotify. You won't be able to hear it, so you're gonna have to check out the YouTube. But it has now been played.
To save you the edit, I can literally just play the voice now if you want.
That's a Puskas award contender already, 100%.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Donkey, best midfielder in the world. So obviously we had Mickey Mouse in our group chat. But his performance against Sheffield was unbelievable, incredible finish, and it wasn't just a goal. Even Mourinho came out and praised him and said it was a complete performance. I think I saw a stat saying he ran more than anyone else on the pitch, and usually I don't care about them type of things, but when it's Tanguy who's been criticised heavily for not tracking back enough, not doing enough defensive work, he was running all game, solid defensive performance, done well going forwards as always, and it's about time people start taking him seriously.
Speed as well.
Because even last season, when he got criticised a lot, it was still clear for people that watch football like me and Charles to see his quality and to continue backing him. There was a lot of man on Twitter talking about, sell him, he's not good enough, he doesn't work hard enough, he's too fat, he's lazy, whatever. But his quality was undeniable. And this season, every game he's performed consistently. And I'm seeing people on Twitter that obviously don't watch Spurs a lot talking about, it's only a Spurs good game or his second 90 minutes or whatever. But he's been showing himself. He's been one of the best midfielders in the league this season, and that's facts. And he's only 24. He's got a lot to build on. Obviously, a lovely finish from Kane as well. It was a good performance, but it's against Sheffield United, a team have had the most
carried away
in the Prem. So I'm not going to get overconfident. But it is good that we've got a decent rest this week.
Put in front of you though.
Yeah. Of course, should have done that against Fulham, but we got a decent rest ahead of us. I think we got Wickham in a cup on Monday, so I expect to see a second string team, and then Liverpool on Thursday. And I think they've got like Brighton or something coming up, and then they've got United in the cup. No, they got United in the cup. They got a league game on Thursday or something. So they play.
Yeah, they've got Burnley. They've got Burnley in the
decently tough game for them. So we get a bit of a rest against them. Liverpool at home. Anyhow we can pick up 3 points, I'll be very happy. But I'll settle for a draw against Liverpool.
On that note, should we move on to the mid-season predictions?
I do want to say quickly about Carlos Vinicius, though. We've obviously spoke about him quite a lot in the group, and for me, I think his price to buy him permanently is like 40 to 50 odd mil. And every game he's played in the Europa League or the cup games, he's performed impeccably. He scored goals, got assists, good hold-up play. He's shown he's a good striker. But for some reason, Jose is not trusting him in the Prem. So if it comes to the end of the season and we don't buy him, then all of that crying out for a striker last season makes no sense, because he's proved himself. You want him to obviously show that he can do it in the Prem, so give him minutes in the Prem. Then if we do buy him and he doesn't do well in the Prem next season, you had the opportunity to try them out in games like Fulham and Sheffield United. So I'm a bit disappointed that Vinicius is not getting starts.
It's one of them. It's like, if he doesn't sign, are we just going to keep loaning him with the option to buy every single time we need a striker? Or are we actually going to sign a striker?
I think he's literally the perfect like for the second.
Yeah, he is. But
the second choice strikers we've had over the years, he's by far the best one.
He's showing that he's good. He's doing what he can really to deserve a start. I don't know.
He could be
not as if he's performed better in the Europa League, so Jose thinks.
I think he could be a starter for pretty much. If he didn't start at Spurs, he could go to another Premier League team in the top 8 and start for them week in, week out.
It's games like Sheffield United. He could have played a 3-5-2. We played 3 at the back anyway.
Yeah.
And it, especially against a team like that, it makes sense to play a striker that can hold the ball up and win things in the air.
Also,
players like Son and Kane to run on.
God forbid for you lot, but if Kane did get injured, you're bringing in Vinicius, who has had absolutely no sharpness in the Prem at all now, because he's played limited minutes. He still probably doesn't know how the Prem's going to suit his style. Doesn't know how quick it is when he picks up the ball, because he's only played 30 seconds. So he's going to be thrown completely under the bus if Kane did get injured. So you'd probably be in more trouble than
the thing is, though,
last season.
I'm watching. Last season we didn't have it. What was it? Who did we have last season?
Was that last season or the season before?
Llorente wasn't there last
So
year.
did we not have anyone last season? It was the season
No,
before.
I don't
Yeah,
think
you
we
did. I
did.
don't think you had anyone as a backup last season.
So it was
We didn't have anyone.
last season. It was no striker. Season before it was Llorente, then Janssen. And watching Vinicius, he's shown just in the games he's played against in the Europa League and the cups. But as much as they are like weak opposition, he has filled me with confidence because players like Llorente, Janssen, Soldado weren't even doing it in those games. We've got a player that I have confidence in to step up and not fill Kane's shoes, but do a job as a striker. So Son and then Ndombele and other players like that who are chipping in with goals can carry on contributing to the team. But players that we've had previously, I just don't. He's miles ahead.
I do definitely have a soft spot in my heart for Llorente because although he wasn't the most gifted striker, every time he came onto the pitch, he'd done what he needed to do. Come on the pitch, he would score headers, hold the ball up well, get assists. So Llorente for me was somewhat of like a little cult hero for Spurs fans. He'd done what he needed to do, but Vinicius, in terms of quality, looks levels above. So for me, it's just confusing as to why he's not been given a chance. And I posted a tweet, I think when I saw the lineup against Fulham, why Vinicius is not starting. And then someone replied to me asking, well, what do you expect him to drop Kane? No, you can play two strikers up top. They're
or
the
just
type of
not
games
start Sissoko or
I
Winks.
want to see you try something. Yeah, you're starting Sissoko right wing. Why is Winks on? Winks and Sissoko are essentially the same players, except Sissoko offers more in terms of power and going forward. Winks offers a bit more passing wise, but they're essentially like the same player. So I don't.
It's like if Liverpool started. It's like if Liverpool started every week with Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago in the midfield, with no real attacking threat coming from the midfield. Because then Ndombele, when he's playing, because we were basically playing a diamond, and then Ndombele was basically playing on the left, but a bit more forward, and it just didn't work. It was obvious to see that from kickoff.
As I've been saying all season, start Ndombele in the number 8 role, which is what's best suited for him next to Højbjerg. Mourinho did that against Sheffield, and then Ndombele had one of his best performances in a Spurs shirt. So when we do Football Manager, sign me up as a Tottenham manager because I'm ready to take this team far.
Well, we'll save all the randomizer.
That's it for me on Spurs.
On that note, we'll move on to the mid-season predictions. Onto the mid-season predictions. So we're going to read off the predictions we did in episode 1, and I mean that seems ages ago. I re-listened to it, and it's a terrible.
What date was that?
I think it was the 11th of September.
That was my debut.
It was your debut. It's not like anyone could hear you because you were speaking through like a toilet tube. But we'll read off the start of the season's top 6, and then we'll read off our new top 6. I'm sort of going off the cuff here, so
yeah,
I am as well. So my top 6 was Man City top, Chelsea 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, United 4th, Arsenal 5th, Spurs 6th, and my revised top 6.
Howler.
I'm keeping City top.
No, wait, before you get into a revised top 6, like I said earlier, it's getting clearer and clearer by the day that certain man here don't really know about football.
Yeah,
Chelsea second. Let me just put a disclaimer out. This is an apology. I'm sorry to everyone that I put below Arsenal. Oh, sorry. Sorry to everyone I put below Chelsea. I know I'm a disgrace, but hopefully the revised list might give you a bit more of a clue. So I'm going to go City top, Liverpool 2nd, United 3rd, Spurs 4th.
Well, hang on, Dan. On the TikTok yesterday, that is not what you said.
I know it isn't, but you know what? I've sort of changed my mind. I
heard Spurs fans are bullying.
I rewatched. No,
Yeah,
I actually did. I actually
so.
didn't get any comments from Spurs fans because I do think Leicester will be 5th, by the way. But I don't know whether, in terms of longevity, if Leicester get an injury to either Maddison, Vardy, Tielemans,
Maddison's been injured,
or Harvey Barnes, they're in some serious trouble. Because in terms of depth, Spurs are way ahead for me. And I'm not saying Spurs have got anything in terms of quality depth, but they've got enough to get top 4. So I think Spurs will just scrape it. In terms of United, they've got nowhere near enough. I think they're on a good run of form, but the Prem's a bit like the Championship this season, where if you do hit a run of form, you're going to fly up because the league's that close. I feel like
looking at the table
waiting
now,
for their bad patch.
Everton,
and it will come. It will come with United.
Definitely.
Everton are 6th, 1 game in hand. If they win that, they go 2nd just on goal difference.
That's what I mean.
Everton have been good, but they're not in the conversation for me.
No, they're 7th for me.
I wouldn't put them in there.
But 6th, I'll go with Chelsea, I think. But
So
Chelsea
maybe
have disappointed me.
8th.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's. I do like what Arsenal have got at the moment. Like I like Smith Rowe, I like Saka. They've got good energy going forward. I just think they've got too many liabilities in that team. Like you think last night they started Rob Holding and David Luiz with their defensive partnership. Like that, it will get you nowhere higher than 8th for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's unfortunate for Leicester because I feel like they're going to drop off again like they did last season. But in terms of the difference to them this season to last season, I don't think there is a lot, and that's their problem. They haven't strengthened enough, where Spurs have, obviously.
The thing is, the Leicester side for me at the minute is like 10 times better than the side they won the title with.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's crazy to me how they won the league with that side.
Well, the reason they won the league is because they had 3 world-class players. Oh, 2. Vardy's not world-class, but almost world-class.
I think he's very, very close now.
I think he's very, very close.
He is very close.
I think if he finishes this season, how many goals is he on now?
11.
And he's been injured.
I mean, 5 of them were penalties.
11, yeah. That's just in the Prem. Well, yeah, but...
Okay, stop fucking riding Bruno there.
Take him off penalties.
Bruno's got more outfield goals than him.
Well,
and he's a 10.
The thing is with Vardy, everyone already knows that Bruno's world class though. But Vardy, if this season he keeps it up, he's world class for me.
Do you man still believe Bernardo Silva's not world class?
I still don't think he's world class.
I don't know.
But in terms of City winning the league, I still think, regardless of whether City win the league or not, I've got either Kane or Son probably for my player of the season. Because I don't think either of them will let up unless one of them gets injured. And if they don't let up, Kane's going to end the season on 20 and 20, which is absolutely just...
It has to be Kane for me. Has to be Kane.
Yeah, it's got to be Kane. But they won't give it to him.
So, Cabs, you went for Liverpool top, City 2nd, Chelsea 3rd, Spurs 4th, United 5th, Arsenal 6th.
Okay. So, I'm going to say City first because... For me, City, they didn't have the best start to the season. There are quite a few games in hand, but they've just been winning. I think they won at the last 5 games, bare clean sheets, Hilton Hotel business.
They both
John
beat
Stones
us, so they must be a decent side.
Yeah, John Stones and Diaz are doing their thing. Still can't beat Tottenham, as they'll show again in the Carabao Cup final. Silverware. But Liverpool 2nd, because it's like they're the 2 teams to beat for me. I know people are getting excited about United, but as I said earlier, United will have that bad patch. They will drop off for a few games. It's inevitable. However, I think United will finish 3rd. I want to be optimistic and say Tottenham 4th, even though I think that will go right down to the wire, like Avon Barksdale. But see, I don't know. Like, I think I'm just going to put Spurs 4th just because I want to be confident. I want to be optimistic, but I wouldn't bet on it. 5th Chelsea. Because they've got a good squad. They've definitely got players that need to hit form. Werner, Havertz, but they have still got a very good squad. I like Callum Hudson-Odoi. I don't want to say I like Mason Mount, but he's a good player. 6th, Leicester. I feel like it's harsh to put Leicester 6th considering how good their season's been. But I think just the teams I put above them just have more in terms of quality. And I'm gonna say 7th for the sake of it, which Everton 8th, Arsenal.
Yeah, pretty much in agreement there. And the thing for me is with City, when City, like I was saying about teams hitting a run of form this season, when City hit a run of form, they're literally unstoppable. Like some of the quality of goals is ridiculous. Sorry, Cavs.
Yeah, I was just going to say the issue with City is obviously they've got no Aguero at the minute, just injury prone all the time. I said at the start of the season, this will be Aguero's last season, really. Yeah. Jesus is not the competent backup striker you thought he was. But to be fair, City will still get goals with the likes of whether De Bruyne's playing the false 9 or as a 10, he'll come up with goals. Sterling will come up with your goals. Even John Stones the other day with 2 goals, which was impressive.
But you look at
looking at their top scorers, they've got Sterling 8, Foden 8, Torres 7, Gundogan 6, Mahrez 5, Jesus 4.
Foden, man.
Like, how many clubs is there in the world that has that many players that can chip in with goals? To that extent, anyway. Probably no one.
But like you look at in terms of, I know it was against Palace, but 3 of the 4 goals the other night were like just top draw goals. Like the first goal is there's a dead ball. De Bruyne has hit it with the outside of his foot round 3 players. It's ridiculous. And then they hit 2 in the top corner. Like, how do you defend against something like that?
But although they will still always come up with goals because of the quality they have, there's certain games like the West Brom game, for example, where they needed a goal and they need a striker in certain positions to be able to finish, and they don't.
The thing is for them, they need an Aguero. That's what they need, but he's finished.
I mean, I think it's a matter side. Sorry, Jamie.
I saw recently that apparently Pochettino wants to sell Mbappe to buy Messi and Aguero.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. He loves his own
team.
So if he did though, and he sold Mbappe to Man City, the league would be over.
The thing is for PSG and Poch though, PSG's owners want to win the Champions League right now. That's what they want to do. That's why they want to sign those players, because they want to win the Champions League this season. If not, Poch will go. If Poch doesn't, because he's only signed on a 2-year deal, I think. If he doesn't win the Champions League, he'll go.
But say in the summer, because I think a lot of PSG managers try and go like a lot. I was saying to you, Charlie, sometimes they don't start Mbappe for some reason. They don't want to start Mbappe. Poch will start his best 11 other than the shitty cup games pretty much every game.
He benched Neymar the other day.
Did he? Yeah. I thought he'd come in,
he came in, criticised Mbappe, said he needs to work harder or something like that, and he benched Neymar. I kind of rate it. I don't know what
kind of rate
achieved there.
But a lot of their managers are like not focused on the league, but then by the time it comes to Champions League games, Mbappe and Neymar didn't look sharp at all because they're playing 20 minutes.
The game we were talking about was Angers, Saturday, I think it was Saturday night. And they started, it was Neymar, Di Maria, Mbappe, Icardi, all started. They won 1-0. How do you have an attacking 4 of that calibre of those players against a team like Angers, who be in the Championship in English football, and win the game 1-0?
Not even bear in mind, Angers was where Ndoye was captain, and Ndoye's the one that I sent you. You know that pass where he just kicks it at their left winger? Yeah. That is that man. He was their captain. Should we move on to Jamie's? So Jamie, you went
hooded man.
I think I had the same top 4 as you,
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, you went exactly the same top 6 as me. So, I mean,
which was Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool,
United, Arsenal, Spurs.
So top, I'm staying with City. Second place, I'm going with Liverpool. Third, I'm gonna go United. Fourth, I'm going to go Leicester. Fifth, Spurs. Sixth, Everton.
It pains me to hear that.
Where did you have Chelsea?
Chelsea would probably be 8th. No, 7th, sorry. 7th.
You're going Chelsea, 7th, Arsenal, 8th.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Certain man just don't know ball.
Now, to be fair, I can kind of understand.
How can you say that Chelsea will be any higher?
Chelsea are 4 points off Liverpool.
Chelsea are also 2 points off Arsenal. Who were
11. Yeah, exactly. Arsenal are also 2 points away.
But this season,
the game in hand against Leicester tonight.
Oh yeah.
That's a big one.
Leicester away.
Might have to put my assignment to the side.
If they lose that game, they're level on points with Southampton and West Ham. I've seen nothing from Chelsea in terms of.
That's why I can't have Chelsea any higher. I've seen nothing from them. I've seen absolute. Considering I had them second, I feel like it's only right that I just slate them.
Yeah, I understand it. I've got to back it.
Yeah. Obviously, Everton and Chelsea can be interchangeable. I don't think Chelsea will finish any higher than 6th.
Yeah. So, Charlie,
I'd love that, Chelsea to miss out on Champions League. I'd love it.
Charlie,
provided we get
I think
Champions
that's
League.
definitely going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. They're not getting top 4.
One thing's for certain is it's very tight.
Yeah.
And I think it'll go down to the last two or so fixtures.
Charlie, you went pretty much exactly the same as Cav, so apart from the top 2. So you went City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, United, Arsenal.
See, for me, looking at me and Dan were talking about it when we were, I can't remember what we were doing, but we were looking at like comparing the league table from this time last season to this season now. And when it like a couple of weeks ago, Liverpool were 13 points clear this time last season.
Yeah, this time last season.
To think now there's 2 points in it with a game in hand at the top and Liverpool are 4th. It's hard to predict, but I'm going to stick with City first because I think they've got too much. Liverpool 2nd, Man United 3rd, Spurs 4th, Chelsea 5th, Leicester 6th, and then I'll go Everton, Southampton, Villa, West Ham, Arsenal.
Same as me until you got to Arsenal.
Yeah.
You just carried
We
on.
were reading off the whole league table, and I was
He just kept going. And then Arsenal came. Did you read all of those out to just say you think Arsenal finish 11th?
Well, realistically at this point, I can't, like Jamie said with Chelsea, he can't see them finishing higher than 7th. I can't see Arsenal finishing higher than 10th.
But
realistically,
then you can't slate me
very,
saying
very
that
good
about
run-off
Chelsea. But then you can't slate me saying that about Chelsea when they're only 2 points away from Chelsea.
Yeah, I know, but Arsenal, I've got to stay loyal to my predictions. I can't predict them to draw or lose every game.
What you're saying is Arsenal are just
Arsenal.
Arsenal, and I'm Charlie. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I can't predict them. Probably a total of 12 points all season, which would have them level on points with Fulham in my predictions, and then go, I reckon they're going to finish 5th.
I can't believe this. I'm the one that's getting all the abuse from Arsenal fans on the TikTok now, and this guy's not putting them 10th.
I think
it's realistic.
The way the league's set up right now is all you need is a run of 4 or 5 wins.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I really think these predictions have to be taken with a pinch of salt because it's like, obviously this isn't going to happen, but West Ham win 3 games on the bounce, Tottenham lose 3 games on the bounce, and West Ham go like 6 points clear of Spurs. Like, that's all it takes, and that's easily doable because anyone can have a shit run of form, which has been shown with every single team so far this season, and everyone can have a good run of form.
The fact that Arsenal now are 2 points of Chelsea, considering at one point Chelsea were doing very well and Arsenal were doing horrendously. Now there's 2 points in it. It just shows that I know teams like really running away with it, other than I can see Man City somewhat running away with it at some point. But at the minute, all it is 3 wins in a row, other team around getting a couple draws and maybe a 1 loss, and all of a sudden the table's on its head. So
my issue with your Southamptons and your West Hams is, for me, when I watched Southampton the other day, when they miss Vestergaard, they look terrible. When they miss Ings, they look terrible. They've got players who are going to miss games inevitably.
You say that though, but if Aubameyang gets injured, Arsenal have got nothing.
Have they though? Because I think
not really.
Well, Aubameyang was out when they beat Chelsea 3-1, wasn't he? It was Smith Rowe, Saka, and Martinelli as the 3 behind Lacazette. I think they've got more than enough there for me in terms of quality that will get them 8th. And 8th isn't like a top finish, but for them, for where they started, I don't think that's that bad.
It's still shit for them.
It's weird that Arsenal got so many players that we would have considered quality before, and still are obviously, but before the season started, Aubameyang, Willian, all these players. But credit to Arteta because he's targeting the youth like Corbyn and Saka, Smith Rowe. They're doing their thing.
Yeah, Smith Rowe was quality last night, to be fair. So should we go bottom 3s? So I mean, there's a couple of stinkers in here, and by a couple of stinkers, I mean me, Jamie, and Charlie. So I went
once again knowledgeable.
So I went West Ham, West Brom, and Fulham, and 2 of those 3 have actually been okay. One of them might be 8th in the league. Jamie, went.
The 3 have been okay, but Fulham are only 1 point ahead of us.
Yeah, so 2 out of the 3 are in the bottom 3 right now. That's a good prediction.
I thought you meant okay, as in they've been
No. As in 2 out of the 3.
As in, like your predictions are okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jamie went Villa, West Ham, Fulham.
That's terrible.
Charlie,
the fact you couldn't see Villa staying up for me is crazy, considering how good.
If you rewind the audios, I did say that I think we'll go down over Villa, but I didn't want to say
West Brom.
Oh, fair enough.
Realistically, I didn't think Villa would go down ahead of us.
Charlie also didn't think West Brom would go down, but he went West Ham, Brighton, Fulham. And speaking of Brighton, Cavs went Fulham, West Brom, Brighton. So there's one outstanding team that we've all missed here.
Yeah, none of us predicted Sheffield.
It wouldn't be fair to say that we've had a howler if we've not put Sheffield United in there, considering how well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people are saying that
second bottom 3.
Syndrome.
There's no way.
16 losses,
no way
19 games.
Charlie, wait.
Yeah.
My dad is clueless in terms of football. He was saying to me at the start of the season, Sheffield United are going to go down. He was saying that to me, and he was pretty much like, he was very confident that they'd go down.
I just think when you see a team finish 9th in the league, as much as I knew they'd have second season syndrome, I think we all said they'd have second
not to this extent though.
I think I
didn't think it'd be to this extent. Yeah. I didn't think it. I thought there'd be in a relegation battle, but I didn't think it would be this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a couple of us said Burnley would be down there. They're down there. I'm a bit disappointed in Brighton. As much as it's right, I don't argue with you two putting them in your bottom 3s, but they've got a lot of quality in that team. Like you think Trossard, Tau, McAllister, Basuma, Lamptey are all Premier League quality players in my opinion.
Because the thing about Brighton is there's definitely been some performances this season where they looked decent and they played nice football. I think probably near so to the beginning-ish of the season.
And the Leeds game the other day, good win.
I mean, Brighton do play good football occasionally, and I think was it the Leeds game where they scored that nice goal, nice pass.
Yeah.
Like they do. And like you said, they've got some good players in Lamptey and a few of the others, Basuma that you listed off. But, they just haven't got as much quality as some other teams around them.
I saw exactly. They had someone playing right wing back. I can't remember his name. I mean, if any Brighton fans watching this.
Was it Veltman?
No, it's the one with the long hair playing right wing back. Can't remember his name. It's like Chiletto, that's the one. He's dire. He's absolutely terrible, and there's too many players.
He played against.
He doesn't play that
regularly, and he was awful a couple of seasons ago.
I don't think he does, but you need depth if you're going to survive, and because especially this year where you're going to have players out with COVID a fair amount, so you need a squad of 18 of decent quality players, and they have not got that at all.
I don't rate their left wing back, Solly March.
He's not really a wing back though, is he?
Yeah, he's been played out of position. He's average, so he's a champion. He's a championship. Average. He's a championship winger. But yeah,
the thing with the bottom 3s though, I think looking at the gap in points now, I'd have thought that would be the case for the top. I thought the bottom was going to be a lot tighter than it is. Yeah. In terms of from just the bottom 3, because
I did. But that was me. That was me.
I don't think they're ever going to come off the bottom.
That was me, but that was the same. But I was expecting teams like West Ham, who were before the season, they were in absolute disarray. Their fans were even predicting them to go down. Same with Villa. To be fair, Villa did bring in a good bunch of players towards the end of the transfer.
You have to remember though, if goal line technology works against Sheffield United, that was the difference. Villa would have gone down. If that was.
So the thing is, Villa had a very good end to the last season as well. So I don't think it was wild to predict they would stay up, especially with the additions they brought in.
I'm not gonna lie. There was an outside chance for me that Grealish was gonna go because obviously the transfer window was still open when
we made the predictions, and then he signed the new deal.
Yeah,
he signed till 2024 or 5 or something. Didn't he?
It wasn't wild to say Villa would stay up, but it would be wild to say that you didn't think that being in the bottom half.
I mean, I think I said that they'd finish about 16th or so, which is obviously
I think we all said
just say from relegation. Yeah, just say from relegation, but not necessarily in the battle.
I still think they'll finish around 11th, 10th. I don't think
the thing is though, you have to take it with a pinch of salt again, because anyone can have this poor run and anyone can go on a flying form, like run of games. It's like, it's different to other seasons. Like that good run of form for a team that's at the bottom. Other seasons it might not have kept them up, but now it's so tight everywhere in the league, apart from Sheffield United to whoever's second bottom, West Brom. But anywhere else in the league, a couple wins on the bounce and a couple poor performances from teams above you, and you swap. It's as simple as that.
If they'd have had that run of form that they had in lockdown last season, Villa, they'd have probably finished about 15th.
Yeah.
So
I think
are we going to do the updated ones then?
Yeah.
So
I think the points towards the bottom the bottom teams are gonna need more points to stay up this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be 38
bottom teams
to 40.
taking points off the bigger teams, and it's just it's gonna be impossible, man.
It'll be a 38 to 40, I reckon, sort of season. But I mean, Sheffield United, I think will finish on.
They're definitely finishing
15 points.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do as bad to break Derby's record, but it won't be far off.
I thought they were going to, but I don't know. I still think they've got a chance. 15 points is hardly respectable.
No, it's not, but 12 points is absolutely criminal.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Shouldn't even be allowed to play football after that.
So for me, I mean, it sounds pretty simple. I'm going with the bottom three that it currently is to go down.
Was that Sheffield, West Brom,
Sheffield,
Fulham?
West Brom, Fulham.
Yeah, same. So I'm obviously sticking with Fulham and West Brom, and then Sheffield instead of Brighton.
I'm going Sheffield United instead of West
Sheffield.
Ham. But I feel like Fulham will be. I think Fulham and West Brom will probably fight to the last couple of games. But I just don't think there's enough in either team.
I don't think the teams above us will get dragged that far.
I think Brighton and Burnley will be down there for pretty much the whole season. I think there'll always be a 3 or 4 point gap. But I think it'll be there or thereabouts still until the last few games of the season.
See, the only team I can see getting dragged into it and making it a 4-horse race is Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle. I can see.
I don't think I can't see Burnley staying down there. I think they'll start picking up the points that they normally pick up, like the scrappy 1-0s against
Brighton are 5 points above Fulham, but they played 2 extra games. So if Fulham go and win their next games or get decent results, or Brighton drop points, like Charlie said, you never know, isn't it?
But the problem is with games in hand for the bottom three is they're going to be, those 2 games in hand are going to be against quality teams that we all know.
One of Fulham's is against Man U.
Well, they're in some trouble. I think the other one might be against Villa.
You say that, yeah. Fulham done well against Liverpool, got a draw. Done well against us, got a draw. So,
but draws aren't as much as they're good results. Like they've drawn their last 6 or 7. You know, if you draw every game, you're going to go down. If you finish the league season on 38 points,
no, it's good to be drawing against those big teams, but you need to be beating
the teams around them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're beat the teams around them, then everything can change.
What do you think then, Jamie? Do you think West Brom will go down?
Yeah, I think it's the bottom 3 as it is now. I think it could be interchangeable, as in we could finish above Fulham.
Yeah,
but I think Sheffield are rock bottom.
Yeah,
I think 18th and 19th are between us and Fulham.
Quickly, before we move on to Charlie, obviously I wrote a quick article about it. I just want to get your opinion. When West Brom inevitably go down, what's going to happen to Gallagher? Because I'm thinking that I don't think he'll return back to Chelsea. They've got 2 midfielders currently, especially they've got Mason Mount more or less playing his position. So do you think he'll go to another?
I think he'll go to another Premier League club. Yeah,
16th. Or,
yeah. I think he'll go, say someone like Leeds stay up. I think he'll go to Leeds.
Yeah. Like a Leeds, Newcastle type team.
I could see him going to like.
I think he'd be perfect at someone like Leeds.
Because in a 4-4-2, him and Ward-Prowse next to each other, as much as they haven't got that kicker, I feel like Gallagher's an aggressive enough midfielder where they'd start dominating the ball.
Yeah, I think it'll be another loan.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll sell him yet.
You don't think they'll sell him yet?
Nah.
I mean, I'd love
this would have been his 4th loan, isn't it? In the last 2 years.
Typical Chelsea.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah.
Chelsea is still. Yeah, they still own Van Ginkel. He's like 28 and he's still going out on loan. So
crazy.
He's mad. I want to find out how much money.
How it's allowed, man.
Do you know what I saw the other day, actually? Their longest serving player, Lucas Piazon, has finally left the club on like a permanent deal.
Has he been in the Serie A?
I remember him.
I think he has played in the Serie A, but he's been around for Chelsea for ages, but never played.
That left back, Is it Baba?
Emerson.
Oh,
Babarama.
That's his name.
We were
Yeah,
linked with him.
yeah,
We
yeah.
were linked with him in the summer.
He's been there for so long and never ever been in. I don't think he's ever been in the matchday squad. He's just floating about.
So Chelsea
You know what?
signed Lucas Piazon in 2011 from Sao Paulo and let him go, like you say, Jamie, just now. So
Where's he
he's
been?
10
Where's
years.
he been since?
Oh, everywhere.
I'm pretty sure he was at Fulham
Yeah.
for one
Yes,
season.
I can say.
Am I right
Yeah,
in saying
I
he's
think
played in the Serie A since?
I think
He
he
played.
has.
He played for Chievo, yeah. So he played for Fulham, Reading, Frankfurt, Vitesse, Malaga, and now he's at Braga.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's
He's
bonkers.
getting passed around like a slapper.
But Charlie, I assume.
But yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to be boring and go same as everyone else, but what else can you do?
But you can't see it if no one can see anything
Yeah.
else happening. It's just
I mean,
impossible.
what else can you do? I think it's going to finish exactly the same. I
Out
like
of the-
everyone said, Fulham or West Brom is the only change that I can see happening.
Out of the
I'd
three
like to
teams in the
see-
bottom three, who do you think's got the better chance to stay up?
The three, I think West Brom, because
I'd go West
they've
Brom.
got the most quality in terms of.
I don't think West Brom have
Just
got
all
most
round.
quality. I think they've got a manager. West Brom have got a manager that has a reputation of keeping teams up. As much as none of us like him or none of us think he's done a good job so far, he's kept every team he's managed up. So you have to sort of say they've got a chance.
I feel like, I don't know, like we've been saying the whole time, it's so tight and there's still a long way to go. So I'm going to say the bottom three as it is, but I think Fulham will finish 19th. But yeah, there's still a chance that Burnley could drop down there, likewise with Brighton and Newcastle. But at this current point in time, I can't see it changing.
Right?
Yeah, I think Newcastle have got a risk of getting dragged in.
Yeah.
Well, does that conclude it then?
I guess
I
so,
think it
unless
does.
we're doing anything else.
Pretty smooth.
Before we finish it,
Leave
yeah,
that, so-
I just want to say, Jack Wilshere, that Premier League prosy,
Nah.
man's gone back to Bournemouth, bro.
That's a great
just
signing for
floating
That's a
Bournemouth.
good
Florida.
signing,
Yeah.
man.
No, he's
I wanna
team's
say
not
as well,
great signing, bro.
Harvey White's gone to
NHS
Portsmouth. I think that's
Wilshere.
massive in his career. now.
That's yeah.
Where's
that's
he
huge.
gone?
Portsmouth.
I think he'll do well in League One. So he'll get regular starts and definitely
Mm.
score a couple free kicks or so. Big player, watch out for him.
For six,
He'll score
for
a couple
a
of
good
free kicks.
side as
I
well.
think I saw him take 6 against Marine, and all of them went over the bar.
Yeah, Lee should have took
Bro,
at least
these
one
are-
of them.
I think he took two. Dan.
Shaped up to
He's-
take the
Bro,
one.
he's
before
the
he
best
came
free
off the
kick
pitch.
taker in our club. Maybe that says a lot
Yeah.
about the other players, but other than Bale.
Yeah.
Best free kick
So,
taker.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We've got some new content coming to the channel probably before you see the next podcast. So here's a trailer for it.
The Modern Game Podcast.